Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating, data-driven forecast about the very future of scientific truth. We're going to look at exactly what happens when the slow, careful world of human science collides head-on with the hyper-fast world of artificial intelligence. So, can we still trust the science? It's a massive question. Right now, there is an absolute pressure cooker building inside the world of scientific research. For decades, we relied on a system called peer review. Basically, before a scientific paper goes public, other experts check it to make sure it's real, accurate, and safe to trust. But what happens when that system gets completely overwhelmed? Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the peer review problem, the THD framework, signs of system strain, forecast timing, and finally, falsification and real-world impact. Let's get right to it. Starting off with Section 1, the peer review problem. Here's the core issue we're facing. Human verification is incredibly slow. We're talking hours, days, sometimes weeks for an expert to manually comb through a complex paper. But then, look at AI production. It's practically instant. AI can draft, revise, and pump out massive amounts of text in seconds. Human reviewers are quite literally drowning in this endless flood of fast, AI-generated papers. Think of it like a giant factory. The automated assembly line is moving at absolute light speed, right? But the human quality control inspector is just walking on foot. They literally cannot keep up with the volume. So the whole scientific review factory develops this massive bottleneck. And as we all know, when pressure builds up in a bottleneck, something eventually has to give. Which brings us to Section 2, the triune harmonic dynamics framework. To measure this mounting pressure, we're using the Triune Harmonic Dynamics, or THD framework. This is a brilliant, data-driven tool authored by researcher, inventor, and author Kevin L. Brown. It's designed specifically to measure structural pressure in systems, looking at exactly how a system is built, where the weight is pressing down, and when it's ultimately forced to adapt. Now, this framework doesn't just guess. It takes 3 very clear mathematical steps. Step 1 is to identify the system pressure. Step 2 is to map the verification gap. That's the bottleneck we just talked about. And step 3 is to project the exact release windows, meaning it predicts the precise moments when the system either has to change its rules or completely rupture. All right, Section 3, signs of system strain. Right now, the current pressure index score is sitting at a hefty 62 out of 80. The THA framework uses this score to tell us exactly how close a system is to a breaking point. And a 62? That officially puts the scientific review system in a late pressure phase. Basically, all the warning lights on the dashboard are flashing red. So where exactly is all this pressure coming from? Well, the absolute highest stressor is the verification gap, sitting at a 9 out of 10. Right behind it, AI production load and reviewer scarcity both hit an 8. To put it simply, AI is churning out way too many papers, and there just aren't enough human experts left to read them. The experts we do have are totally exhausted. And here's the real kicker. Bad actors are jumping all over this. We're seeing a massive rise in paper mills. Think of these as fake science factories, mass-producing bogus research using AI. Because they're fully automated, they're scaling up way faster than manual human detection can possibly catch them. They're just quietly slipping fake science into the system, and it's silently eating away at our trust in real research. Let's move to Section 4, forecast timing and windows. So when does this all boil over? The core forecast lays it out clearly. Between late 2026 and early to mid-2027, the scientific community is highly likely to experience a major public credibility event. The system is either going to suffer a highly visible failure, or it'll be forced to implement some extremely strict new rules just to survive. How did the THD framework pinpoint those dates? It's actually really interesting. These specific timing windows align perfectly with the natural rhythms of the academic year. In late 2026, universities restart, and this huge year-end backlog of papers starts piling up. Then, by early 2027, the pressure hits its absolute maximum during the big spring science conferences. This timeline maps exactly when the system will be under peak stress. During these windows, we're looking at 3 main possible outcomes. First is integration, where publishers seriously harden their rules, requiring strict proof that an actual human wrote the paper. Second is containment, where publishers manage to successfully upgrade their own AI tools to catch the fake stuff. And the third, rupture. This is the absolute danger zone. A rupture means a massive, high-profile fake paper scandal makes headline news, doing real damage to public trust. Finally, Section 5, falsification and real impact. Now, any true data-driven forecast has to be falsifiable, right? The framework gives us a hard deadline for this, May 31, 2027. If that date rolls around and we haven't seen any major new policy hardening, no visible scandals, and if the human reviewers just easily absorb all that new AI output without breaking a sweat, well, then this entire forecast is officially falsified. It means the model was flat out wrong. But if the forecast by Kevin L. Brown is correct, the real-world impact is going to be massive. Listen to this quote directly from the report. Science legitimacy depends on belief that publication means a claim past meaningful scrutiny. It's so true. Public trust relies entirely on the belief that published science is actually verified science. If we lose that verification, we lose the trust. It's that simple. I want to leave you with this final thought. Think about the medicines we take, the bridges we drive across, the technology we use every single day. They all rely on trusted science. So if the peer review system breaks down under the crushing weight of automation, what happens to society when scientific truth becomes literally indistinguishable from an AI hallucination? It's a critical question, and the clock is ticking toward 2027. Keep a very close eye on the science headlines. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.